I think that the title of this video basically says it all, guys. And I'm just going to be honest. When I say that I 100% do indeed mean it, there is no tomorrow. So, when it comes to something like this, you're going to have people, the same feckless, disgusting individuals, because you guys already know you had the left and stuff coming out, speaking out against it. And, people are going to always say, oh, your channel's not about politics, or your channel's not about this, your channel's not about that. And the thing is that when it comes to the realm of politics, when it comes to the realm of people having discussions, which is something that Charlie did, it goes way beyond that because when you just want to have a normal discussion with somebody, that becomes the paradigm that you must align yourself towards. You must align yourself towards the idea of having a discussion. But how many more times are we going to need to see somebody get killed and murdered on the side who just wants to have a discussion before we finally realize that this isn't just some flame war, this isn't just some Cold War, this is actual war. And I'm not talking about some pussy codifiedness of, oh, I gotta sit there and cry about it. Oh, I gotta sit there and send my thoughts and prayers. Because when it comes to thoughts and prayers, fine. You can send your thoughts and prayers, and yes, you are called as a Christian, as I am as a Christian, to have forgiveness. And you can have forgiveness for those people. You can have an alignment for those people towards forgiveness, and that God will pardon them in the hopes that they do repent for their sins after their head rolls. Because we're not doing this whole let's just strap up. Let's just be scared. Let's just codify to them. Oh, they say turn down the temperatures, and what do? We pussify. We cuckify towards the idea of turning down the temperatures. We listen to them when they say turn down the temperatures instead of actually turning up on the degree. Oh, but they may try to commit violence against you. They've already done it. How many more cities need to be burned? The new Los Angeles riots, the looting, the burning, the people who don't even belong in this country, stamping and burning on your flag, destroying buildings, attacking your police, attacking your officers. Trump was almost assassinated twice? He was almost assassinated twice. They finally got to Charlie. Let's not forget the Summer of Love. Let's not forget George Floyd. This is the language that these people know. I hate to sound like, fucking Carly Morenthal over here, for those of you who don't know from a TV show, but one of the things that she said, one of the things she echoed was that violence is all these people understand, and that is 100% true. This is a crusade, and you can sit there and get mad because you don't know the history of the justification behind those, but when we're talking about a holy conflict, a holy war, because if you're going to sit there and say there's right and wrong in this, there's not politics, there's just right and wrong, then you got to understand that only comes from one moral subsect, and that's a moral subsect of objectivity predicated on the linguistical value system that is only uttered in religions like Christianity. It's not uttered anywhere else. There's no value system here. The left believes in naturalistic law. They're atheists. They believe that the eye for an eye is confounded on the notion of subjectivity, that morality is subjective. No, but there is one objective truth in morality. You can't sit there and say it's evil when you're atheistic or you're agnostic, because him getting killed doesn't really mean anything. And as much as I can award the idea of thoughts and prayers, and I do appreciate them, being sent out because that is a respectable thing to do, what good does ultimately it come from to stay silent and to be capitulatory and to say that, oh well, I'm just gonna sit there and wear a bulletproof vest? Charlie had precautions. Charlie had a bulletproof vest. Charlie wanted open dialogue and discussion. You people aren't winning the argument every time you cow down. When they call you a Nazi, because what do you do against Nazis? What do you do? These people, when you ask them, like if you had the ability to go back in time and get rid of Hitler, all of them pretty much just say yes. There's no nuance. There's no context there. They come out the woodwork talking about it'd be okay and justified if Elon Musk died. Charlie himself wrote this. It'll be okay if Elon Musk died. It'll be okay if Trump died. This is something that they actually want, but yet they call you the violent ones. And then they have the audacity to say turn down the temperatures, and you guys capitulate. You guys cucked to it. It's pathetic. You cuck to it, and you capitulate to them. All you get is more death. What? Oh, well, there's going to be another Charlie Kirk that's going to rise. The voices are still strong. No, the voices are silent when you're all dead. That's what the voices are. The voices are silent when you're all dead. Training and strapping up is only one mere step. When they hit low, you have to go lower. There's no advocacy here. You're like, oh, you're trying to advocate for, violence and murder. No, that's what your side did. This is just a naturalistic response. Don't turn down the temperatures with me. Don't pretend like you're not. If you're going to sit there and say, oh, Charlie stood on business, Charlie died for what he believed in, he took a bullet for the country, took a bullet for his God. And what are you doing? What are you guys doing when you sit there and say, oh, well, I hate it when they say turn down the temperatures, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to sit here and cry. What does your tear and turning down temperatures do for his family tonight? What does it do for them? What is saying, oh, we pray for his beloved wife and children? What is that realistically going to do for them tonight? Again, I'm not even saying that you shouldn't pray. I'm saying unless this is a Lazarus situation and he comes back, you want to really talk about it? Bring him back. Because I can sit here and tell you that, oh, I didn't agree with everything Charlie had to say. That's just a fact. That's just true. But the thing is that he was the one willing to have the conversations. He was the one willing to go out there and put his body on the line for this sort of thing. And that you got all these other feckless people. Because I don't even want to talk about the left. Really, I'm going to be center focusing on a lot of the right, as you guys can hear in my criticisms, is because these people don't want to accept that we are already at the embroilment of war. We are already standing here on the precipice of the war. We don't live and exist in a world to where you can just be okay with this. I mean, what was going to wake you up? What is going to wake you up? You're not tired of being the tolerant one yet? You're not tired of not acknowledging that these people want you dead? Oh, well, Charlie's going to send up 1,000 more people, 10,000 more people, 1,000,000 more people. The next 10 Charlie Kirks, all dead. Then what? The next 50 after that, dead. Then what? Dead, 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 dead. 100 after that, dead, 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 dead. Then what? Eventually, you're going to get to the point to where your voice is now completely silent. AOC and them coming out with, well, I'm not going to hold my events anymore, or I'm going to back off because I'm afraid. They've never had to be afraid because the right isn't the one doing it. The audacity to sit there and say, oh, I'm afraid and stuff now. Afraid of what? The cuckified people who are screaming at you right now to, oh, I'm angry. I'm so angry. I'm upset. But I won't do anything about it. If they shoot me while I'm just in the grocery store, okay. Hopefully you send me thoughts and prayers. No, it's absurdity. It's absurdity and ridiculous at this point to sit here and not align yourself with the notion that they want violence. They cast the first die. They cast the first blow. They want violence. They don't want peace. They don't want peaceful coexistence. They don't share your ideology. They don't share your values. Because no, I'm not in no way this type of channel. In the past, I have made my politics known, but I've always tried to keep it towards the idea of people, accepting my channel for what it is. It's not a political channel. But this is what this is about. This is the culture of today of where people who are just having discussions because, like I said, you don't even have to agree. But it's one thing to say you don't agree, but you're willing to have the discussion. It's one thing to say that, you may not like a policy and that you did your own research and that you're trying to, go after somebody who's speaking truth to power, who believes they're speaking truth to power, and you have your own objective criteria for which you're curtailing them, whether it is through logical means and basis or deductive reasoning or, convincing them to have an internal critique of their own positions where you're going through the structures of a debate and you're having that discussion. That's one thing, even if you don't agree. But it's another thing to just say that, oh, I can't beat somebody on the merits, so I'm just going to shoot them and kill them. And that their side's not going to do anything about it. All these people talking about let's get him in front of the crowd. Let's get him in front of the judge. Let's put this in the hands of the justice system. The justice system that has continuously failed. We're talking about the Ukrainian girl. Yes, let's just rely on the justice system. Let's just hope that they'll get it right this time. We look at somebody like Kyle Rittenhouse that was so close. So close. We look at what happened to Trump. You guys want to talk about looking at Trump? Rigged court system that's made him, quote unquote, a felon. 34 counts. That's the justice system you want to trust? That's the one you're hoping for? We're hoping to come through because now that they've caught the guy, because they got the guy, or at least presumably, evidence to the contrary, notwithstanding. But presumably they got the guy. That's what you want to hope for. You want to hope for it's not going to be him promoting his position and radicalizing it. One of the things that people hate about, like documentary series or series that, kind of come out like My Friend Dahmer, right? This is still relevant to the point, is because of the many fangirls and stuff that came out because of this. We already have the Luigi Manianos getting praised for just gunning down people in the middle of the streets. That's what we have. We're like, woohoo, yeah, this is great, fantastic. You already got people celebrating Charlie's death and demise. You want to put this person out there? He's already admitted to the truth. You want to just hope for the best with the justice system? You talk about natural justice? No. Don't come at me. Don't come at me with the biblical script. Don't come at me with turn the other cheek. People always talk about, oh, we're not under the Mosaic covenant. But there were holy wars that was facilitated on behalf of God that had nothing to do with that. That had nothing to do with these Mosaic laws. So when I say this is a crusade, I mean that this is a crusade. And it has to be one. It has to be a holy conflict to stand against good and evil. Because when God condemned, because people are going to be like, well, God condemned David, like you look at First Chronicles, God condemned David on behalf of starting wars in his name that were ineffectual, wars that had no meaning to them, wars that were evil or the intent to satisfy David's vanity, not in the behest of God, because God stood on business with that. Jesus carried it on. His disciples carried it on after him. There was no against self-defense. You could always defend yourself. Stopping unnecessary violence, stopping evil, that's all well and good. But when you have justice to deliver, because you can say that vengeance is God's, and that is true, but God often uses people as tools of that vengeance. And you have to be willing to stand up as one of those tools. It's a very simple prospect. It's a very simple idea. You have to be willing to stand up as one of those tools. And if you are not, you don't serve God. You don't care about any of this. You don't care that Charlie will never see his son grow up, become a businessman, become a politician, do whatever he wanted to do, graduate college. He'll never get to walk his daughter down the aisle when she's getting married. The wife will never hold them. He was young. They could have had more children. They'll never be able to reproduce the next generation. What good did that do? What good did that do to sit there and be passive? And again, this is not an advocation. It's simply just acknowledging the reality of it. It's not about radicalization. It's like, oh, I've been radicalized. If you were truly radicalized and you were now standing on business, you wouldn't be just simply saying, let's be more peaceful than what we've already have been. You would be an acknowledgement that justice must be served. And that justice is a true conflict between. Everyone keeps talking about it's a turning point. It's a turning point. The irony of the name. But there is no true definitive turning point if you guys aren't actually willing to turn. If you guys aren't actually willing to move. If you guys aren't actually willing to go out there and do. Because they're willing to do it. They're willing to do it. People are talking about now that look at the guy's background, right? He came from a stable home, right? Oh, his parents were registered Republicans. And the media is going to spin that. They're going to sit there and say, see, it was Republican violence. Even though the guy wasn't a Republican. Even though he was radicalized by the left. He was radicalized by the fact that they call you Nazi, that they call you fascist. And what do you do with a Nazi and fascist? That's what he did. He went to these feckless universities that promoted against Charlie. The MSNBC and them came out talking about some, oh yeah, he's a fascist. It's okay, he's a fascist. He's so politically divisive. That the feckless cunts like Van Jones and Abby Phillips just talking about pretty much right before he died. Everyone's talking about he's trying to politicize the thing that happened to the Ukrainian girl. The brutal murder of an innocent girl. Oh, because he's a fascist. He wants to politicize that. He wants to gin up hysteria. Ooh. Now what? Now what? How many more have to die? How many more times must they attempt to kill you? That's the thing that we have here that people don't seem to understand is that there is no tomorrow. There is no, oh, I'll wait. We'll do something about it tomorrow. We'll take care of it tomorrow. We'll hope for the best tomorrow. We're going to become advocates tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. They want you dead today. The scum, dirt, psychopaths want you dead. They don't care about what you're going to do tomorrow. They don't care about how you can beat them into the debate. How much more of a mandate did we need to have back in November? Charlie was a big part of that. Charlie was a big part of the reason we even have a mandate. Because he was the one willing to have the conversations, despite the fact that even during that time, there was almost no willingness of the conversations, but we thought we could still go high enough. We thought, okay, they go low, we must go a little bit higher. And that the prosperity, the continued prosperity that came in the months following the election, that it was, it's perfectly fine. See, they're going to accept it now. They're going to realize that they were wrong. No, they won't radicalize more. They only call you a fascist more at the behest of the media's rhetoric. Everything that Trump's been doing. Oh, he has Mein Kampf. He reads it every night. He says Hitler and his generals were some of his favorite people. Never once proving these to be true. They're just trying to provoke you, trying to add in provocation. But then they want to sit there and say, no, we must turn down the temperatures. Because now that the rhetoric has elevated itself to the point to where people are doing violence, it's like, oh, no, calm down. We must calm down the temperatures. It's okay. We must calm down the temperatures. It's absurd and it's ridiculous. There is no tomorrow. Because guess what? Charlie's gone. There's no, what he would have wanted. Because he's gone. All you have now is yourself. And are you going to stand on business? Or are you going to cow down? Are you going to show the signs of weakness? Are you going to surrender? That's what pathetic is. To surrender to these people. So when they say turn down the temperatures, you actually do it while screaming and crying about how, I don't like that they're telling me to turn down the temperatures. So, I mean, that's how you got to really stick it. That's how you got to really stick it. It's like, let's rely on justice. Now that they got the guy. People talk about some, let's hope he doesn't, get real justice acted against him. Let's hope it's at the justice of behest of the courts. Because they've never failed. Especially in recent times and in recent years and in recent memory. They've never failed. We got to hope that the jury of the peers doesn't decide that, this guy should spend the rest of his life in prison because that would be justice. No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't. So people can get mad at this. People can say, I'm going to, unsubscribe, I'm going to block, blah, 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 blah. If you're over here looking and laughing at this man's murder, no, not murder. I mean, murder is still fitting a definition here, but assassination, because when you're talking about something in the realm of politics, because that's what he was discussing right before. Because we were like, I don't want to watch the video. It's too sad. It's too sad. No, watch it. Open your fucking eyes, you feckless cowards. To the right, who are the cowards, and to the left, who are the monsters who don't seem to understand of what you need to be afraid of. Look at the video. Because that video showcases that you are no longer welcomed, that you have turned your back on humanity, and therefore, if you don't want to be a part of us, well, You want to be a part of humanity, you have to go. This is not threatening anyone, but nor is this making concessions. This is acknowledging the truth and the facts of the situation. This is acknowledging the promise. There is no more you could just come and kill everyone and hope to get your way. There's people talking about silencing voices. Your voices won't be silenced. How many? How many before the voices are silent? Before everyone's gone. Because then, well, they win by the numbers. It doesn't matter that you won on the ballot. It doesn't matter that you won in the debate. It doesn't matter that you won in bringing prosperity and great economical restoration and blessings towards your country. It doesn't matter. Because all you have to do is get rid of you. Oh, we'll never let Charlie's voice die. You do when you capitulate. You do when you surrender. You do when you showcase weakness in this time. You do. You let his voice die. Because all you're saying is to these people is that they can just kill you. That's what you're saying. You're saying that these people can kill you and that's enough. Because they realize, and that's what you're essentially telling them, they can never beat you on the debate stage. They can never challenge your ideas. They can never challenge your values. So what do you do when you can't? Well, you do the most illogical thing you can think of because you're a coward, because you're pathetic. And you sit there and you murder them. But guess what? That's effective. Because guess what? Winning a debate didn't stop a bullet. Being a good speaker didn't stop a bullet. Being a good Christian man, being a good godly man didn't stop a bullet. The bullet wins every time. Because how many you lock arms, you stand in lockstep with each other, and then they shoot you all in a row? Bang, 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 bang. Well, guess what? Now there's no more who speak like you in the country. Now there's no more. So it's okay to sing your thoughts and prayers. It's okay to keep them in your head, but you got to remember what that prayer comes with. You got to remember what it is to stand on business. You got to remember what it is to stand up for righteousness. You got to remember what it is to stand with God and what He's calling you to. And the thing is I'm saying, because you'll hear a lot of people say that, oh, I can't say what I really want to say, because I'm on network television, or I don't want to come across as evil, or I want to come across as though I'm giving in to my anger and I'm giving in to my flesh. It's like, you're not. If you are giving into seeking justice and true justice, not giving into your flesh, not giving into your anger, you could be those things. You could be angry. You could be upset. You could be sad. But you're saying that you're looking at what this other person is doing and recognizing that the danger that now is being imposed onto your life, your family's lives, must be answered with an equivocal response. It must be answered. It's not when I say, oh, we're going to war, as in we're going to the Twitter spaces and we're going to try to confront these people. You wanted this. You wanted him dead. Now that's pathetic. That's what whining, that's what coping is doing. You should not be doing that in this time. You should be preparing yourself. You should be getting yourself ready. You should be acknowledging the fact that my life is on the line. If you're really going to sit there and stand on the idea that this could happen to anyone, if it could happen to Charlie, it could happen to anyone. Charlie was pretty mainstream. Charlie's really middle of the road. He's not even as radical as somebody like you or me. And there's an acknowledgement of a threshold there. And that's why I say there is no tomorrow.